Often hailed as the Marilyn Monroe of the East, the late Arab icon Hind Rostom left a remarkable mark on the region's film industry. Starring in over 80 movies, they simply don't make stars like her anymore. She had killer looks, seductive curves, and a tsunami of talent. Hind Rostom was and remains all woman. She was the ultimate Egyptian sex symbol, equally tantalizing in luxurious couture gowns and traditional clothes. In an era when starlets were expected to be calm, collected, and demure, Rostom shattered the mold with her unique blend of style, grace, and vivaciousness, making everything just a touch sexier. She wasn't merely a damsel in distress. She was a force of nature who sought out the distress and used her feminine charms to navigate through any trouble. Known primarily for her sensual roles, Rostom's physical allure earned her the fitting nickname Marilyn Monroe of the East. She burst onto the silver screen with an energy that was both electrifying and revolutionary. Her presence was magnetic, captivating audiences with a charisma that was impossible to ignore. In a time when female stars were often pigeonholed into docile supporting roles, Hind Rostom stood out as a beacon of strength and independence. She embodied a bold femininity that challenged societal norms, making her a trailblazer in every sense of the world. Whether she was playing a seductive siren or a strong-willed heroine, Rostom brought a depth and complexity to her characters that set her apart from her contemporaries. Her impact on cinema was profound, and her legacy continues to influence aspiring actors and filmmakers across the Arab world. Hind Rostom's life and career were a dazzling blend of scandal, glamour, and undeniable talent, ensuring that she will forever be remembered as one of the greatest icons of Eastern cinema. With her blonde locks and striking features, she soon became a fashion icon, with women around the Arab world flocking to copy her latest look. She was even dubbed Egypt's Brigitte Bardot, which I did a video for Brigitte Bardot and Marilyn Monroe also, and she was also named the First Lady of Egyptian cinema. However, it was her frequent portrayal of strong female characters that earned Rostom an everlasting spotlight. She is known for her portrayal of outspoken characters alongside legendary actors such as Farid Shaki and Omar Sharif, defying stereotypical gender norms of the time and inadvertently becoming a feminist symbol for many. She also helped in continuing to glamorize curvaceous women because she wasn't like a stick figure, you know. She had a lot of curves and meat on her bones, and she definitely glamorized that and was still seen as a sensual icon through the years, even as she started to, fill up a little bit more. Just beautiful, glamorous, and seductive. Today's video, we're going to dissect her childhood and her career and why she walked away at the peak of her stardom. And I love how confident she was and sure of herself, and she demanded her respect. We're going to get into all of that and more, but first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Green Allude, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars through history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so, and if you're already subscribed, please turn on your notification bell so you never miss an upload. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. Let's start first with her childhood. The legendary Hind Rostom was born on November 12, 1929 in the bustling neighborhood of Maharam Bek, Alexandria, Egypt, and forgive me if I mispronounce any names. Her family was comfortably middle class, with an Egyptian mother and an Alexandrian father of Turkish descent. Her childhood was a tug-of-war between two worlds, the strict discipline of her father's side and the compassionate tolerance from her mother's family. Hind's father, a police officer of Turkish origins, upheld a strict household. Educated at the Christian French school of St. Paul in Alexandria, young Hind was the epitome of a quiet, obedient student adored by her teachers. However, her idyllic school days were cut short when her parents divorced when she was just 9 years old. As per Egyptian law, she went to live with her father, moving to Cairo and settling in the upscale Garden City area. Hind's educational journey took a turbulent turn due to the war. Initially enrolled at the German school in Bab al-Louq, she soon had to transfer to the Franciscan French school. Unfortunately, constant relocations owing to her father's job meant she never completed her high school education, which was a great regret to her. Living with her father's strict family, Hind experienced a harsh traditional upbringing. No girl was allowed to go out alone or even look out of the window. If there were boys standing in the balcony in front of you, you'd get a beating for it, she recalled, describing it as her grandmother's old-fashioned ways. At 15, Hind's life took a dramatic twist when she moved to live with her mother, who had relocated to Cairo. Her mother was the polar opposite of her father's family, extremely kind and sincere, traits that left a lasting impression on Hind. Tragically, her mother died young, passing away at the age of 42 when Hind was just 25. Navigating through these contrasting worlds of strictness and kindness, Hind Rostom emerged as a formidable force in Egyptian cinema, blending her tumultuous upbringing into performances that captivated millions. Now, in terms of her career, Hind Rostom's entry into the world of acting was nothing short of cinematic serendipity. At just 15, she stumbled upon her first role by sheer coincidence. One fateful day, while trying to grab a last available ticket for a Layla Murad movie at the Cosmos Cinema House, Hind found herself sharing a private box with a stranger. As they chatted, the girl invited Hind to accompany her to a casting office. Eager at the prospect of meeting movie stars, Hind agreed. Instead, she found herself face-to-face with director Mohammed Abd al-Gawad. Impressed by her Egyptian nationality, they offered Hind her debut role in Flowers and Thorns. Her mother welcomed the idea without hesitation, thrilled at the opportunity for Hind to enter the cinema business. However, she kept Hind's father and his family in the dark, and once the movie premiered, the family's reaction was swift and harsh. They cut her off entirely. The rift only mended after her marriage. It wasn't enough that I was Hind Rostom, she explained. I had to be somebody's wife to be enough for them. This was the only validation for them. Other than that, no, end quote. Hind's family was outraged by her choice of career. They were livid, she confessed. I was brought up in an aristocratic family, and acting was scandalous at the time. My uncles would turn their heads to avoid looking at me when they saw me out. We only started speaking again when I married my second husband, Dr. Mohammed Fayyad, end quote. The societal rejection of actors puzzled Hind. She recalled, I do not know why. The simplest thing, the court of law will not accept a witness statement from an actor. What does that mean? Are we clowns? I see the artist with a different eye. I see myself representing the lives in our society. I put it on screen for the simple person who never had the chance to open a book or to know the world. I show the simple people that there are different paths in life. I explain the world we live in with its differences. I tell society stories from our lives. I show these stories to you. For me, an actor is a teacher, end quote. Back then, being an actor was shameful, a stigma Hind struggled to comprehend. Now, things are better, not very much so, but relatively better than it used to be. Hind Rostom's journey was a daring defiance of societal norms and family expectations. Her transition from a rebellious teenager sneaking into casting offices to become Egypt's most iconic film star is a tale of scandal, resilience, and undeniable talent. Hind Rostom never envisioned herself as an actress, let alone a cinematic legend. Her childhood dream was to become a doctor, but after dropping out of school, her ambitions shifted to marriage and family life. Fate, however, had other plans for her, launching her into a dazzling acting career that stretched over 3 decades. Rostom's career began with 7 grueling years in supporting roles before she ascended to leading lady status. Describing her 30-year mission, she confessed, I had to be committed to a lot of things, bound to specific habits and specific food. I had to sleep early so my face would be ready for the camera. Even when I wasn't working, I had to eat limited quantities of food, always put on makeup, and take care of my skin. It was exhausting. This was not a normal life. You keep a certain weight like a boxer or a model. Our job is tough, very demanding. For example, you get asked to do a scene when you are sick, so you have to do it. In The Nun, I had a 40-degree fever, yet I had to learn to dance and perform, all while burning up with fever. Missing a day cost the production company tons of money. This was not a joke. It was a lot of money. Do you know how I got the fever? Director Hassan Al-Imam asked me to do a scene in a freezing water spring. Your fingers would freeze if you touched it. I had to be in that water with Ehab for the movie. This is a scene when my character falls into the water, end quote. So this is very, very tragic, but that happens. We talk about that with all our other stars that we've done breakdowns for, that they could not be sick. Even the child stars, if they were throwing up, they'd put a bucket, close by so that they can throw up and get right back into character. You just didn't have the luxury because it was hundreds of thousands of dollars that it would cost the studio if you took a sick leave or, hundreds of thousands of dollars with the people. So it came at the cost of the talent. The talent couldn't even afford to be sick. The directors, production company, because a lot of people focus on the talents too. But directors, the producers, they all had to be present too. You know, everyone had to be present, the camera guys, all of that. And if you took a sick leave, they would just fire you and get somebody else. Makeup artist couldn't make it. You keep calling off. We'll just get another makeup artist. We'll get somebody else on wardrobe. So these people still had to push through for the opportunity. And I can see why that was so draining to her. She was just like, I can't do this. Rostom also reminisced about the 1952 revolution and its positive impact on Egyptian cinema and the arts. It pushed the cinema forward. Abd al-Nasser, God rest his soul, gave value to the artists, undoubtedly, she said. She also spoke of her charitable activities during the wars, raising donations, collecting clothes, and participating in fundraising concerts with Farid al-Atrash and Abd al-Halim Hafez. Her performance in Fatin Abdel Wahab's Woman in My Life earned her a special mention at the Venice Film Festival in 1957, and she received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Arab World Institute in Paris. Rostom's portrayal in The Coward in Love in 1975 won her the Best Actress Award from the Association of Egyptian Cinema Writers and Critics, the only award she accepted in her career. Yeah, a lot of awards she just did not accept. We'll get into it. She believed this accolade was the only award that was sincere, that she was sincerely given. In 2004, she refused to accept Order of Sciences and Arts. The award came too late, she said, and continued, I'm not placed on the shelf for them to pick me whenever they want. There's only one Hind Rostom in the Middle East, and let's consider that the number of my generation's star actresses isn't that big enough to ignore us. And also, it's not appropriate to honor me after years of honoring people who are less than me. Another point is that I also refuse to honor me before Shadia. Shadia was another actress who paved the way in Egyptian cinema also, who never got her flowers like she deserved. She continued saying she deserved it and she was a star a long time before me, end quote. So she didn't want to get accolades before those that paved the way for her, and she didn't like how they ignored her and then later decided, oh, now we could throw you a bone. In a candid interview with Sad, just a year before her death in August 2011, she declared, an actor's prize is people's love. They are the ones who talk about us and watch us, so it's the people, end quote. She was always very sure of herself and made her demands with no apology. One of her demands was to not have any kissing scenes. She was asked in an interview why she never did any kissing scenes. She said, they disgusted me. I'd feel queasy at the very thought of them. I had a lot of arguments with directors because of that. My big argument was, why can't we love each other without kissing, end quote. So she was still very conservative, and even in her scenes, she'll do sensual, poses and stuff like that, but she always kept her limits and didn't believe in doing too much to still be a sensual icon. And put some flowers in the comments for her for that, because that takes a lot of grit. Like, you have to be really strong-willed, especially in a cinema where they didn't really value women female actresses like that. They didn't value their opinion. They were scared to speak up. She stood up for herself and was still a sensual icon. Despite saying, put some flowers in the comments for her. She was also a class act. She was asked in the same interview, how does she handle the negativity of the press? I viewed all criticism as constructive, she said, as long as it was professional. A famous journalist once wrote in a review of a movie that I did that I should have just stayed home. It was very harsh, but I called him and thanked him. He knew it wasn't my best work, and it made me wake up and worked even harder, end quote. She was also offered $1 million to write an autobiography on her life, and her response was also very commendable. She said, I don't want to write my biography. This is my personal life, and it belongs to me. I refuse to sell my life as a means of entertainment. It is of no one's concern, end quote. Hind Rostom's social life was a casualty of her all-consuming career. She confessed that her job became her entire existence, leaving little room for a normal private or social life. Even her love for traveling took a backseat to the demands of the silver screen. I did not get to live a good life at a good age. I lived a good life on movie sets, at work, she recalled. Despite the sacrifices, she forged close bonds with the industry with stars like Rushdie Abaza and Salah Zu Al-Fokar. Rostam's personal life, always shrouded in intrigue, revealed tantalizing glimpses of complexity. She married twice, first to film director Hassan Rida, who fathered her only daughter Passant, and later to Dr. Mohammed Fayad, a gynecologist. I couldn't find any photos. Fiercely protective of Passant, her daughter, Hind imposed strict rules to shield her from the stigma often associated with artist children, child stars, lacking parental supervision. And she was determined to not be one of those people. She was like, you're going to be raised right, I'm going to be present, and I'm going to be active. Her daughter didn't always like it, but it was for her own good. She was extremely stern, even with my friends, Passant recalled, noting how she was often restricted from joining her peers on trips and outings and sleepovers, etc. Balancing work and family was paramount for Hind, and when she married Fayad, she made a monumental decision. She retired at the age of 45 to devote herself entirely to her family. In an interview when asked how her life changed after marrying Dr. Fayad and stopping acting, she said, "Long before I met Fayad, I planned to stop acting at my peak. I was 40 when I finally decided to quit, and while it was very hard, I wanted to go out on top. So my marriage had nothing to do with my decision. On the contrary, my husband always respected my work. He knew how to treat a woman, and that's what mattered most to me. I'd always been independent, so it was nice to finally have a shoulder to lean on, to support me and make sure I had nothing to worry about. My life was so full after I quit acting. I was rarely at home, and I spent so much time with my friends, my lovely husband, my family, whom I love more than anything in the world. My husband and I shared everything, and my life with him surpassed my stardom and fame." End quote. Reflecting on her decision to retire, she stated, "I have no regrets. I did it for the love of my family, the love of my life, my prince, my husband," referring to her husband, and they were married for 50 years until he passed away. When asked about the most challenging experience of her life, she stated, "The death of my husband. He was everything to me, my lovely champion, my companion. I miss him very much. Since my husband died, I've stopped dreaming. I have no more dreams." End quote. On August 8, 2011, the legendary Hind Rostom took her final bow, passing away in a hospital in Giza after suffering a heart attack at the age of 81. Her death marked the end of an era, but her legacy continued to shine brightly. And on November 12, 2018, Google honored her with a doodle, a testament to her enduring influence. 11 years after her death, Rostom remains an idol and inspiration to actors and filmmakers across the Arab world. She was born a star. She was a real icon, acclaimed Egyptian director Mohammed Yassin told Arab News. In an interview with Al Raya, Sabri echoed these sentiments, saying, "Hind Rostom is my idol. She is the queen of seduction. In Egypt, whose work in cinema was both respectable and purposeful." End quote. Yassin added, "Her beauty had no boundaries, and she exuded fierce femininity. She was every Arab man's dream woman." End quote. Zakaria noted, "She presented femininity and seduction in a way that left an incredible mark. She became a role model, inspiring many celebrities who attempted to emulate her." End quote. Yassin pointed out that today's actresses often shy away from roles as bold and daring as those Rostom embraced. "She was exceptional, and no one can now present what she did in her time," he said. In his 2011 book, Hind Rostom, The World's Greatest Actress, Hollywood and cinema historian Maximilien de Lafayette described her as an international star and an unmatched diva of the golden years of cinema, both Egyptian and foreign. According to Egypt's broadcasting organization, Maspero, de Lafayette sent the book as a gift to Rostom's Cairo home just months before her death. Hind Rostom was magical, de Lafayette wrote. She possessed tremendous talent, breathtaking beauty, and an artistic presence that transcends time, place, and eternity. Rostom's life and career remains a source of fascination and admiration. From her scandalous rise to fame to her enduring status as a cultural icon, she captured the hearts and imaginations of millions. Her legacy lives on as a testament to her unparalleled impact on the world of cinema. Please leave some flowers in the comments for her, some heart emojis. Comment below who else would you guys like to see a video from. I also did a video for Turkin Saray, which was another icon, but a Turkish icon. I think you guys, if you like this video, then you'd like that one also. So I'll pin that in the comments for you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.